Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Pete's here again. This is the Evercade, and this is my review. Yes, my review of the Playdate. I always want to review a product that I think is worthy of a review, but a product that requires me to put a lot of time and thought into. Reviews I do not take lightly on my channel. Very few things are ever tagged with the word review because I feel I need to spend a lot of time with said product before I feel I can give a genuine opinion on what I think of it. So right now is my review of the Playdate, and a system that I gotta be honest with you, I never thought I'd spend more than 5 minutes with. I honestly didn't think I'd ever play with it. So let me tell you a little bit of the story of how I got a Playdate. It was during the pandemic. Life was miserable, to be honest with you, for a lot of people out there, and including myself. It was just challenging. My family and I, we didn't get to spend time with our loved ones outside of our own house. We were looking, for entertainment. It was just really tough, right? And for me, I found I kind of, wanted to play games with the kids a lot, and I saw the Playdate come out and be announced, and I'm like, I was just in a buying mood. I wanted to support small indie companies. Like, I was very fortunate I didn't lose my job or anything during the pandemic, and I just decided to order it. But it wasn't a system I thought would ever appeal to me. For me, it was something, I didn't see it that it was something I was going to play. Yeah, it's a handheld. It's got a crank. It's kind of weird and everything, right? It's like, this doesn't speak to me. I'm an old school gamer, right? For me, I'm all about just traditional D-pad buttons, analog sticks, not these out there control methods. I never really got into the Wii and stuff. But anyway, so I ordered it, and I was very lucky. I got it in the second batch coming out. And why I say I'm very lucky is the moment I grabbed this weird little system, I've actually fell in love with it. And I never fell in love with it because of the crank or anything like that. I fell in love with it because of the games that I got to play on it, which was really cool. And it comes with 24 games rolled out over 12 weeks in Season 1 that you get included with this. And I just had a blast playing a good chunk of them, and you're seeing them there now. There's quite a few games I can remember going through. Some of the highlights, Sasquatcher is a fun little adventure game. Spellcourt is like just a weird mixing. Inventory Arrow is just a blast. There's so many cool different titles that is available on the Playdate. Like Executive Golf, I'm still playing that game. That game is super fun. You've got the Zipper game, which is, just a different take on an action-adventure game. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's just adds all these things to it. And it's so simple. So, after Season 1, I really enjoyed a lot of the games that came out with it. And I must say, it was just something I just had a blast playing. And then I discovered something about this system that I really like, that really kind of just put it over the moon for me. And it was the ability to sideload games. And I have tons of sideloaded games. So it starts right here, right? All right, cool. My games. These are games I've sideloaded on. I bought off itch.io. Some of them I got for free. Some of them I only paid $2 for, $3 for. And I even created my own little game for it, and we'll get into that in a second. So these are just some of the games I played on it. So I absolutely, and they're so tiny, these games, they're so small. So the fact that you can sideload games so easily via your computer, via your account, and just put them on, they just download. So that's why I fell in love with this system. I've spent so many hours with it. So let's talk about the system itself. Okay, ergonomically, I'm going to be brutally honest here. It is very small. It gets uncomfortable sometimes when you have to use the crank and these buttons during a game. It can get a little unwieldy when you're playing a game. I need to go back and feed my pet. That is something that, but it's meant to throw in your pocket, right, and get in there and play. So that's a little bit of unwieldiness about it that, for me, was something I had to get used to. Now, games that just focus on you just either use the crank and one button, or you just use the D-pad and B button, really, for me, is the focus. So ergonomics, sometimes it gets very uncomfortable, especially for long play session, which is kind of interesting because there's not a lot of long play sessions here. Most games are very short. So I think the longest play sessions I've had with this was probably an hour. And it was just me playing just really cool games like this one here. I just had a blast playing this game here. So this is one where you got to use the crank and rotate at the same time. So this is Spike 2. I love this game. And you got to reload, and you're trying to reload going backwards, and then you got to turn, and it gets a little unwieldy in playing. It's even hard to capture video. So, I mean, sometimes just the unwieldiness of the small control factors. But it does feel heavy. There's weight there. It's really good build quality. There's no doubt about it. It's small. It's fun. You could take it anywhere you want. And the best thing is you can fold up your crank and, you know, just have a blast with it. Now, so that's one of the drawbacks when owning it, especially if you have big mitts, big capture mitts, or whatever. You got big hands. I got normal size hands, but, you know, even though, you know, I played like max probably an hour at one time on it, it's not as bad as a lot of systems out there. But just beware if you're playing a game that needs you to use this. Now, something you've been probably seeing in the video now is sometimes the screen, right? This is probably the biggest con of the entire system. There's no backlight to the screen. I can probably understand why they did that to cut costs, but I think it's kind of inexcusable in today's day and age. This game it works perfect under normal lighting, but at night, like, you know, it's unplayable, right? So you've noticed that just like that, you know, there's a game playing. It's very hard to pick it up, right? So the screen is a major drawback, and probably a reason why majority of people probably will never buy this system. So I think if they ever make a Playdate 2, I think a backlight screen or just fixing the screen itself to call like the brightness of it will help a lot because the screen is so crisp. Another drawback people might have, and I had it initially, was all the games are in monochrome. I thought that was going to be a huge drawback for me. It's like, who puts out a black and white system these days? But it doesn't bother me one iota. I don't even notice it. I just enjoy the pure gameplay aspects of this console. It is a blast. It's so not even a problem. And you know, there's literally like so many people complain about it, and I was one of them, why would you put it in a non-color screen? But once I got a hold of it, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. But it might matter to you, so keep that in mind, right? There's no color screen on here, but there's so many fun games, like, you know, like again, the indie games. The fact that I can play a 1-bit, I don't know how they're not getting sued for this, 1-button Demon Attack on her. You know, I grew up playing Demon Attack on my Gemini, my Coleco Gemini, Atari clone Demon Attack. Even got the sound bites. It's almost like, how are they not getting sued? I guess whoever created this. Oh my God, it brings back so much nostalgia. And you see how fast that booted up and I got into the game? You know, if Demon Attack's not, and I only paid $1 for that game, and some might say, oh, it's $1 too much, but you know what? I absolutely loved it. Frogger. Who doesn't love Frogger? I actually didn't like Frogger when I was a kid, but yeah, it's like 1-bit Frogger, and I don't know how long these games are going to be allowed to stay up on the store. Somebody must be, maybe it's not big enough for people to care, but you know, that's the beauty of it, right? So again, the screen ergonomics are probably the only two things I have a problem with. The size of the games are ridiculously small. Like, we're talking kilobytes for some of them. It is ridiculous. You know, I'm just going through some of my games here that I even haven't showcased all on the channel yet. But there's so many cool games for you to try. And you can make your own games. Let's talk about that right now. Making your own games for the Playdate. You can even make games through the Pulp editor. I made a game. And like, talking about size of games, you see some here, there's some bigger games are like 79 megabytes. Those are the games that came through, see the screen, right? 79 megabytes. Some are there, but you can see kilobytes there too, right? And there's a game, for example. I'm just going to show you the process of downloading a game. Oh, why am I clicking on that? It's not a touch screen, which is another problem that some people might have. So I just downloaded my game on there, and it wasn't much of a game, but the fact that I was able to build it, 50 coins of Deadly Doom. I built that game, and it was 74.2 kilobytes. Right there by the Evercade. How cool is that, right? I mean, I don't know if it's a cool game, but we shall see. I'll boot it up. But that's the beauty of it. Anybody can make a game on there. There's tons of tutorials on there. And the fun thing is, it's not a system that requires tons of updates. Like, there you go. That's my 50 coins of Deadly Doom. I did all of this through the pulp editor. And you go talk to this gentleman up here. And it's available on itch.io right now if you want to. I mean, you know, it could have tons of bugs in it, but I think it's pretty cool. You found a gold coin. Oh, the volume. I mix all that music myself. I am tone deaf, so I did all the sounds here. I looked at tutorials. Kill that bat. And you're just going to deadly coins. You're going through all different worlds to get coins. It's just a little collectible thing. But the power of this game is that you gotta watch out for different things. They can damage you, and I got like a health bar up there, and I can die and stuff like that. There are bugs in the game, but it's fun. It's free, so you can have some fun playing with. But the point I'm trying to make is, it is an indie darling's dream. People are making money on this. Small developers, they're developing games here. There's a lot of fun games. There's a lot of fun to be had. So I guess, you know, this review is just, there's some cons with the system. Like I said, screen, ergonomics, you know, just the control factor, stuff like that. There are some drawbacks, right? There's no expandable memory on there. Things like that people expect in modern consoles. And this wasn't cheap. This is a $200 system. I paid $189 early bird US for it. And, you know, this is it. Like, but it's cool. And I applaud anything that people are doing in the gaming space that's different, innovative, and bringing new game experiences to. And I thought I'd never enjoy the system, but well over 100 hours with the system, probably closer to about 200 hours with it. Oh, for sure, because I play it almost every day, but, you know, it's something I take with me sometimes with me, my Steam Deck and my Evercade. But overall, my review is solid in this system. If I had to give it a review score out of 10, it's easily a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10 for a handheld system. It would be higher except for the screen. Like, if the screen was backlight and I could play it in any conditions, it would be amazing. Once again, let me know what you think. Do you have a Playdate? What do you think of the system? Are you thinking about getting a Playdate? You know, do you just, you know, you're okay not having this in your gaming life, and that's 100% pretty cool too, right? You don't have to buy everything. Once again, hit that subscribe, smash that like button, and as always, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Bye, everyone.